bills, resolutions, and ethics will come to order. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Lukemeyer.
Here.
O'Laughlin. Here. Searpoint. May. Williams.
3 members present. We do have a quorum. I would now make a motion that we go into executive session. Do you have a second? It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those contrary, no. The ayes have it. We're in executive session. I would now make a motion to bring before the committee for discussion the bills that are currently on the consent calendar. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those contrary, no. The ayes have it. Okay, so we have no other formal business today other than to go through the consent bills. As the members of the committee are aware, anytime a bill is placed on the consent calendar, it has to come before the Rules Committee for discussion. It's kind of an informal process. We're going to kind of walk through each bill and see if anybody has any objections with it staying on the consent calendar. So the first bill is Senate Bill 10, sponsored by Senator May. Senate Bill 110, sponsored by Senator May, that designates January 5th of each year as Kappa Alpha Psi week. This was a bill that was on the consent calendar earlier and I think was knocked off by letter and then put back on. So it's a naming bill. Is there any discussion? All right. Next bill, Senate Bill 111, also from Senator May, designates September as Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month. Any discussion on that one? Okay. Then we've got Senate Bill 348, which appears to be an omnibus State Designations Day bill from Senator Fitzwater. He has a handful of different day naming bills, including both of the ones that we just talked about from Senator May. Correct. Yeah, for a bill to be on the consent calendar, it had to have been voted out of committee unanimously, had no fiscal note, have no penalty provision, and cannot be controversial in nature. And they also have to have, in addition to it being unanimously voted out of the committee in the first instance, they have to have a separate vote to put it on consent, which also has to pass unanimously. So all these bills have met that rules requirement. Any other discussion on that one? Okay, hearing none. The next bill for consent consideration is Senate Bill 125 from Senator Roberts. Modifies the eligibility for appropriations from the Waterways and Ports Trust Fund. And Jim, can you kind of talk us through that a little bit more?
The big piece is the second part. It specifies that projects that are in the city of St. Louis managed by Missouri Port Authority are also eligible projects or projects that can be appropriated to them. So there's an issue, I guess, because the city of St. Louis, they own the land that's managed by a port authority. So for some reason this wasn't included, and in the law there's a list of things that need in order to be eligible to get an appropriation from this trust fund, and they were falling through the cracks on that. So that's what this bill does. It just addresses the city of St. Louis in that specific situation where the land is owned by the city, managed by a port authority.
Okay. And the city of St. Louis, I assume, has that unique issue because they're the only city not within a county. Is that the issue that they're clarifying?
Yeah, I think that's part of it.
Okay.
Most of these are owned by the port authority. This one is a situation where the city owns the land.
Okay.
So, the fund that they're now eligible to get money from, how is it funded? Is it by appropriation?
By appropriation from the general assembly.
And is it generally all used and every year it's renewed? Is that what happens, or?
According to the fiscal note, there is a balance of $5.1 million in this trust fund as of December 31st, 2024. So there's still a balance in it, it's not all.
Why wasn't this on there before? on the list of, approved?
Again, I'm not sure why it wasn't included before, but the city of St. Louis had an issue where land that they owned that was being managed by this port authority was not part of an eligible project that would get money from the trust fund. So that's what this change is. And in that specific situation where you have land owned by the city of St. Louis and managed by the port authority. Right now, it's to be located on land owned or held in a long-term lease by Missouri Port Authority. That's a current law. This is adding on to that. It's an additional, it covers an additional situation that wasn't covered by current law.
And it goes through appropriations.
Yes. The money for the trust fund is appropriated to the port.
Then who decides who can get money from the fund? How is that determined?
Money funds only withdrawn. There's another piece to this, at request of the Missouri Port Authority for statutorily permitted purposes, which is what we just discussed, and upon appropriation by the General Assembly. It was only withdrawn upon appropriation by the General Assembly. Funds administered by the State Highway and Transportation Commission.
Oh, well,
And
that's a no then.
All right, so, I'm looking at the underlying language, and so the fund that we're talking about here is already an existing law, and, the only language that's being added is or land owned by a city not within a county and managed by a port authority. So, it's pretty specific and narrow. Obviously meets all the other requirements. There's zero fiscal note associated with it because it's subject to appropriation. This is a discussion point that's come up, I know, in the past. Non-controversial doesn't mean not confusing. You can have a confusing subject matter.
the underlying subject matter
May be confusing, but the actual, the actual change itself is non-controversial. So, look, I'll defer to the committee on this. Obviously, it only takes one member of the committee voicing a concern to.
Committee has to vote it off by a majority vote.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not sure I vote for this in committee, but in the committee,
Okay.
One member can knock it off by letter, but it's a majority vote of the committee.
I'm all right with it. I think the whole Port Authority thing needs to be looked at, really. It's a very unfair competition with the private sector.
by shady, nobody sees it.
Right, can that be looked at? No, but in general, MoDOT does whatever they want, so that's my question.
All right, we'll move past that one. Senate Bill 189 from Senator Justin Brown adds vehicles operated by county or municipal park rangers to the definition of emergency vehicle. Seems pretty simple. All right. Next is Senate Bill 396 from Senator Ben Brown, authorizes the Board of Trustees of a consolidated public library district to change the dates of their fiscal year.
Fine. I don't know why not.
Okay. Seeing no further discussion on that one, I would now make a motion that we exit executive session. Do I have a second? It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by... Yeah, Fitzwater's, that's the omnibus state designations bill. Yeah. It's been moved and seconded that we exit executive session. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those contrary, no. The ayes have it. We are out of executive session. No further business coming before the committee. I would now make a motion that we adjourn. Do I have a second? It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those contrary, no. The ayes have it. The committee is adjourned.